Hello and welcome to In the Cool of the Day. I'm your host, Tia Young, and we have a great show for you. Our guest was born and raised in Cameroon, Central Africa. She is a woman of inspiring courage with strong leadership qualities. Her passion for influencing her generation paves the way for her to host and speak at events across the nation and internationally. She's spoken to a women's group at the United Nations. She is a brand ambassador for Salud, a health and beauty company based in New York. And she serves as board secretary for Lead Missions International. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Ms. Favour Ikome to In the Cool of the Day. Hello, Favour.
Hi, Tia. Thank you so much for having me. I'm excited to be here, and I'm excited for all our viewers and what we have to share with them today.
Well, thank you. Favour, tell us a little bit about where you are from and your background.
Tia, I am originally from Cameroon, which is located in Central Africa, even though I currently live in New York City. I came to the United States when I was 19. That's a few years ago because I'm currently 28. And I grew up in a family where both our parents passed away when I was 13 years old. And when I say both our parents, and by we, I mean myself and my two younger siblings who still live in Cameroon at the moment. I had to go through life facing the challenges of being a teenager that I had to take responsibility for her life and also be a role model to my siblings. And upon graduation from high school, I didn't get the chance to go to the university in Cameroon where I wanted to study law because they said I did not meet the criteria. I did not have enough high school points to be accepted into the law program at the university. So it was very devastating, but that was because there were other plans that were hitting that I did not know about until I had the opportunity to travel to the US as an international student, where I had the opportunity of being awarded a full tuition scholarship to study at Oral Roberts University and got to study business communication. And upon graduation from college, like every student, I was wondering what was I going to do with my life, what was going to become of me. I had all these amazing dreams that I wanted to see come to pass, not just for myself and my siblings, but I wanted to be able to impact the lives of young women in Cameroon, in Central and West Africa as a whole. And got a job to work in New York as an office manager for a nonprofit ministry. And while doing that, I still felt like a part of me was missing. I wanted more. And that led me to do what I'm doing right now with young women in Cameroon.
Well, Favour, you mentioned about the ministry. So coming up, was God a part of your life, or is this something that you discovered later?
Oh yes, God has always been a part of my life since I was 12 years old. I did not understand fully how to walk with the Lord or how to listen to Him or give Him first place in my life. But I know that as young as 12, I had made the decision that I wanted Jesus to be my Lord and my Savior. But I fully got to understand what that was going to look like for the rest of my life when I turned 17. And so every decision that I made from 17 years old and right up to this point, and I believe forever till the day my time on the earth is over, God is always going to be first place as He's been.
That's wonderful to hear. Favour, when did you start your 501c3 nonprofit organization called Raising a Generation of Esthers Foundation? And how were you inspired to do so?
So RHE Foundation unofficially started, I would say, in my dorm room in 2013 when I asked God the question, Lord, I wanted to know, there were so many other students that were competing for the same scholarship that I was competing for. Why would I be the person that you would give the scholarship to? And I really felt like God was impressing on my heart that He wanted me to be able to create that same platform and opportunities for young women in Africa who did not have the resources that He had provided me with at the time. So we began doing the behind the scenes work. We opened an account in Cameroon, where I would try to save at least $10 a month. When I say $10, it's because I was a student, I didn't have any money. So whatever I'll come across that I felt like it was a little extra, I will save it in that account. I'll be like, God, I don't know who these young women are whose lives are going to be impacted by what you've called me to do, but we're going to start investing in them, even when we do not know them, how the dream was going to come to fruition. So when I moved to New York in October 2014, I started working on the plans. I had a job. I was doing a ministry training, but I did not feel like I was doing the thing that he's asked me to do. So then I started working on all the processes and procedures that were involved with becoming a nonprofit. So officially, we became a nonprofit in 2016. But behind the scenes, we've been working like 2 years before that.
Right. Now, you said something that has kind of piqued my interest. You said that you were trying to do what God had called you to do. When you say when God called you, what does that mean? Did you hear an audible voice, or did He give you a dream? What does that mean when you say you were answering a call from God?
It's just an impression in your heart. I don't know if you probably have experienced that throughout your timeline of life, and even for the people that are watching us, you just have this feeling in you where you can't get rid of how you feel when you see people on the street that do not have food to eat. So when I watch television and I see children in Africa who are not able to go to school, yes, I love what other nonprofits are doing about like providing water and providing food, but it always beckons my heart when I'm like, okay, what else is going to happen to that person after they have their daily bread? Is somebody teaching them how to gain skills, how to develop their potential? Is someone asking this person, like, what do you care about? What is it that you want to become? So for me, when I say God had called me to do something, it's just that thing that makes me cry. So if I go to like a women's conference and I see like a video that is being played about what is happening with women all over the world, I just start crying. And if I watch another video where they show maybe a program where women are being educated, women are being trained, women are given opportunities, they've been equipped and empowered, I find myself laughing. So it was just me being able to identify, like, what is this thing that overwhelms me either with joy or with sadness when I run into it. Then I realized it was something that I cannot get rid of until I do something about it, or until I partner with people who are already doing something about it. So that's what I meant by God. So it wasn't an audible voice. It wasn't like I hear Him saying, Favour, this is something you really needed to do. But I just knew that when I felt the sadness for people who had nobody to speak up for them, or people who had no one to ask them what they care about, what they wanted to become, and how they could be helped in becoming that, I always grieve. And the grief goes away when I see myself doing something that is making a difference for those people.
Yes. Well, Favour, I just want to share with our audience that I think I met you, I met you through a third party. And I believe we first started talking maybe around the middle or towards the last of April of 2017. Mm-hmm. And you approached me about a mission trip that you were going to be taking in June to Cameroon to do a baby shower for some of the ladies in Cameroon. And
yes.
Our nonprofit organization, we stepped up and we went around and we got things to give to you for this trip. But in the beginning, I did not understand why you were having a baby shower for the women in Cameroon, because I thought, well, there are women here that could have a baby shower, but I didn't really get into that too much. But will you tell our viewers why you did this mission trip in June to Cameroon?
Definitely, I would love to share that. Well, by the way, officially, we will want to say thank you, Tia, and your team for actually being a part of what happened in Cameroon. That really did go a long way for a lot of families, and even for just people that were not pregnant women and just came to see what we actually wanted to do. Because for most people, they never believed it was going to happen. People did not believe that a team of women will come from the United States and actually give something to women that they did not know and were meeting for the first time. So that was phenomenal. But this is something I was thinking about. throughout the year, we have, as an organization, RGE has an opportunity or is given the privilege to educate women who are not in school and who want to be in school and mentor them. But then I thought about a category of women that do not get to benefit from our programs on a regular basis, like throughout the course of the year. They're not the ones that we sponsor in school. They're not the ones that we give access to resources and materials that will help them grow in their academics and in their careers. And also, one of the things that we want to see is that we want to try to eliminate the doors that are open for young girls and young women to get pregnant out of wedlock. So we thought about doing this baby shower as an idea first, to reach out to girls that are pregnant out of school. Probably their families have abandon them, maybe just out of pressure, like, okay, what are we going to do with an extra baby when we cannot even feed you and feed our entire family? And we also thought that there are women who might not be pregnant out of wedlock, who actually wanted those babies. They're pregnant because they're married and should have kids, but yet do not have the resources with which to start taking care of those babies. And we also thought about people that were single moms. Maybe the person was not out, maybe the person was not a teenage girl in school. They're just somebody who has graduated from school. They didn't have anything to do. One thing led to the other, and they're pregnant. So we wanted to create the opportunity to say, if you are a single mom, we want to love in you. We want to come alongside your community, whether it's a church community, whether it's just your family and those around your neighborhood. We want to love you. For the girls who are in school, we wanted to tell them that, yes, you've made a mistake by bringing a baby into this world out of wedlock, but the baby is not a mistake, and we are not going to forsake you. Also, just being a mirror image of God's love to the community, because I believe that if a family has abandoned their daughter because she got pregnant as a teenage girl in school, if someone from outside comes and love on this girl, you're saying something to the family. You're giving the girl hope, and you're giving the family hope, to let them know we're not embracing the mistake that she made, but we're embracing the fact that she would have chosen another decision. She would have done something else that society doesn't want her to do with the pregnancy and the baby, and even cost her own life. So we just wanted to say, whether you were a single mother or a married woman that doesn't have all she needs, or you were somebody that dropped out of school because you're pregnant, the boyfriend is nowhere to be found, your family is forsaking you, or the community you're part of don't accept you anymore, not because they don't want you, but because they don't know how to bear the weight of it. We wanted to come and be vessels of honor, or pillars through which God will use to build a community again through what we did with the baby shower.
Yes. Favour, how many women did you serve during this mission, and did you blend any ministry activities along with the baby shower?
Yes, I've had the opportunity to do other things in ministry beyond just baby showers and what I currently do. So the more things that God gives me the opportunity to do with other organizations kind of get me thinking of what more can we do for people that are not being served by the organizations that I'm partnering with, because I know there's so much need out there, as well as there are thousands of organizations meeting those needs. But God gives, I feel like He gives every organization their own assignment. That's why coming alongside somebody like you and your team was a deal breaker for us, because we had the idea, but again, we didn't have the resources. We didn't know who to contact, or where to run to, where to get the materials that they needed. So coming alongside of people that knew how to get the resources and the people who had the idea was a phenomenal way of partnering to minister to people that were not even expecting it, but just believed that something good needed to happen to them.
Well, you know, our organization really didn't have a lot of money at the time either, but we went to Walmart, we went to Bye Bye Baby, and we went to Target, and they were instrumental in helping us get the items for you. Favour, from your own experience as someone who has created and managed a nonprofit organization, it can be sometimes difficult financially to work within a nonprofit. Sometimes grants are not there as readily as we think they would be, and free will donations are sometimes hard to come by. Yeah. What would your advice be to someone who is thinking about starting a 501c3 organization?
Yes, I would definitely agree with you. Tia, is hard. If I tell anybody it's going to be easy, I will be lying to them and making their startup very unrealistic. I would say one thing that is a deal breaker for any nonprofit, for people who have been doing this for 50 years, as well as people who have been doing it for probably 2 days. One thing is writing the vision and making it really clear. Writing
Okay.
it plainly. What do you want to do? Why do you want to do it? Who are your target? And why are you targeting a specific group of people? Because you have to be clear. I've had people that sat across the table from me and say, why would you want to do this? As a Christian organization, because some people are like, you will get more money just being a charity than being a faith-based nonprofit. I said I want it to be a faith-based nonprofit because of the community that I'm reaching out to. In America, you will find anybody, whether or not they believe in God. Americans are very loving and generous people. They always, whether they're Christian or not, they find a way to give to something that brings their heart or to something that benefits another person. But that's not the same with people all over the world. I would say where I come from, people need to be Christians in order to be able to give back. And our end goal for everything that we're doing with the young girls and the women in Cameroon is that we want them to be able to give back. We do not expect anything from them. We do not want to be a famous organization. I don't want to be a famous founder, CEO, president, or whatever. I just tell them the one thing you owe me is that 5 years from now, you will be able to do this for somebody else. So I feel like for people, before people start worrying about where the resources are going to come together, who is going to donate, who am I going to call, you have to make it very plain. Why am I doing this? For whom am I doing it? Because people want to know that. So somebody was like, that's amazing. I never would have thought about it that way, that you want your organization to be faith-based because you want the people that are being reached out to be able to reach out sometime in their life. And in other countries in the world, in order for you to be able to reach out, you need to be a Christian. So I would not be ashamed to say that my end goal is to see that these girls are converted to Jesus. They don't need to be Christians to come into the program, but I desire so much that at the end of the time when they've been with our programs, whether the scholarship or the mentorship program, I want to see them become lovers of God. So that will be their inspiration for reaching out to somebody else.
Very good. Now, Favour, can you briefly tell us a little bit about the team of ladies that went with you to Cameroon on this trip?
Yes, we had a very dynamic team of women that traveled with us to Cameroon, and one person actually came from your area, from Fairfax, Virginia. She works as a counselor for the Women's Business Center. We had people that came from North Carolina, a business counselor, and also a family therapist from North Carolina. We had a pastor that came from the Maryland area. So we had a very diverse group of women that brought different gifting and talents to the table. So every single person was in one way or the other equipped for what God had put on my heart that we were going to do in Cameroon. We had a nurse practitioner who came from Oklahoma as well. So she was able to do like a health talk for the pregnant women. The person who came from Fairfax, Virginia, who is Jessica, she was able to do like a business seminar 2 times while we're in Cameroon. And that really gave people hope, like, yeah, the $1 million idea that I'm thinking about is possible even from where I'm at. So we wanted to make sure that people were catered for in terms of beauty, people were catered for in terms of how they take care of themselves health-wise, and people were catered for if they were married or single people that want to be married in the future. So we had a whole seminar for married singles and for single moms as well.
Right. Favour, we have just a few more minutes, but I do want to get in 3 more questions that I think are critical. One is, how do you pull yourself together when you feel like you're all alone sometimes? What do you do?
Yes, that's a very good question, Tia. I love that question because we all need time to put ourselves together because things are going to get hard. We wish that hardship was not part of the equation. So for me, what I do, I have to remember that what I'm doing was not initially my idea. It's a privilege that God has given me to be able to do what I do. He invited me into a vision for people that were crying out to him and believe that he could answer their prayer. So the first thing I realized, the first thing that I've come to know is that, one, I'm only an answered prayer. To to the people that we're serving, the women in Cameroon and the women in other parts of Africa, or even the women in New York that I have the opportunity to serve, is knowing that I'm an answered prayer, so I don't have to carry the burden on my shoulder. So when it gets tough, what I do is I pray. I honestly say nobody goes wrong praying. You don't go wrong going to God and said, you know what, God, I'm confused, I'm frustrated, I feel bad, I don't know what to do, and I need help. And prior to meeting you and your team, that helped us with the baby shower. That was where I was. Things were hard. I had this idea. I could not seem to walk away from it and say, we're not going to have a baby shower because we don't have resources. I cried out to God and I said I needed help. And then the connection came between you and I. So what I'll tell our viewers is it doesn't matter where you're at in your life right now and how difficult things are. Just say a simple word of prayer. God, I need help. I need somebody to come alongside me. I need friends. I need somebody to encourage me. Or you can also offer encouragement. That's another thing I've come to learn, that once you feel like you need something in your season of waiting for that thing to happen, maybe you can offer it to somebody. So if I see somebody else who is going through a hard time, they feel down, they feel downcasted, what I do is I reach out to them and say, hey, can I pray for you? How are you doing? How is everything? Why do you feel like you're in this place? Is this something you did? Is it something you wanted to do differently? Or you think it's just a season of waiting? So when you're looking for encouragement, sometimes what you need to do is to offer encouragement to everybody. So I put myself together just by, first of all, acknowledging that what I'm doing is a privilege God has given me. And if I run into a block, I just call on him to take the blocks away.
Now, Favour, you do some other things outside of the nonprofit. One of those is that you are a brand ambassador for Salud. So in 1 minute, can you tell us what you do for Salud? I think that's a health and beauty base out of New York.
Yes, Salud by Dr. Rigo is the health and beauty company here in New York. They actually have their one store in Manhattan, and then they have another store open in the Bahamas. So I just got a connection from a friend. She sent me an email. She's a publicist for the company. She sent me an email and said, hey, this company is reestablishing after 25 years of running. They're looking for women of color. They're looking for women from every race and ethnicity who will be willing to be a brand ambassador for their hair and beauty products. And she was like, I really love your skin. I really love how your skin is. I really love how I see you play around with your hair. Would you go ahead and try some of their skin and hair products and then be able to do a video for them? I was like, sure. So that's how I went ahead and did it. Their hair products and their skin products are really, really good, especially the one that is called the My Oil, which is basically a very tiny bottle of product, which is like you can use it for your skin and you can use it for your hair. And for somebody like me that travels a lot, I always want to travel light, or I want to have less things to carry, or I want to carry more stuff, but that has very little weight and I don't have to pay extra money. So having a product that serves all the purposes that I need, it can be my body lotion, it can be my hair lotion, and it can gives me the flexibility that I need in my travels. It's a phenomenal opportunity. Then I love the fact that it's actually a Christian company. So they're all about hair, body, and beauty, but it's not as other parts of society have defined it to be. It's really just telling women as well as men that you can actually take care of your body for God's glory.
Well, thank you, Favour. We are out of time, and I want to thank you so much for this interview, and we hope to have you come back again real soon. Thank you so much.
Tia. Thank you, everyone, for watching.
Thank you so much, our audience, for watching this segment of In the Cool of the Day. I want to leave you with this thought, and that is to remember to love your neighbor as yourself, because love will always conquer evil and injustice. Thank you again for watching In the Cool of the Day. Bye-bye.
Eva Marie smoked 12,000 packs of cigarettes over 15 years. She quit, and now there's a new lung cancer screening that could save her life. You stopped smoking. Now start screening. No matter how much you smoked, early detection could save you. Talk to your doctor or learn more at savedbythescan.org.
Maybe you can make retirement happen. After all, you made her college years happen. Wacha. Opening that education savings account when she was little. Spearheading a campus tour. And another, and another, and another, and another. Bam! Deciphering financial aid. She was like, what? But now she's like, you aced planning for college. Now get the tips you need to get on track at aceyourretirement.org.